I'm Erwan Le Breton, creative director of the Might and Magic brand at Ubisoft. Heroes 7 is the classic formula of the Heroes series, so don't expect any major innovation in this title if you compare it with Heroes 3, like the overall benchmark for the series as a whole, or Heroes 5, which was the first Ubisoft game, also a classic variation around the Heroes series. But we added a couple of things in it that still make it a fresh and new experience. Of course, there's a new story. Of course, the graphics have been improved. Now we use the Unreal 3 engine that brings a new life to the world of Might Magic. But we also added a couple of mechanics here and there, most notably the flanking system in the battles that allow you to attack from the rear or from the side to get some kind of damage bonus. There's also some sort of cover system in it if you want to avoid incoming projectiles from the enemy. And we revised entirely what we call the skill system. There's a skill wheel. It looks like a pizza or cheese or whatever. And the slices in it are the various skill families that you can develop until you reach ultimate skills. And it's really a system that's inspired by Heroes 5, but really designed from the ground to fit Heroes 7.
Could you tell us more about the skills, what particular for which race and stuff like that?
So skills are designed to be, there are some categories are accessible to all the factions. As you may know, the Heroes series has various factions or races, 6 of them in this game. Some races, some factions have access to their faction exclusive skill set. Others, like for instance the most obvious one and the legacy one is necromancy for the undead, for the Necropolis faction, so they can summon dead troops after the battle is over and bring them back to battle. Among those factions you will have different kind of heroes. Some are more might heroes, so let's say charismatic leader, tacticians, generals or warriors. Others are more magic heroes, so they're spellcasters, priests, mages, wizards, etc. And they will have access to different sections of the skill wheel. So in the end, some magic schools. There will be magic schools in the game: fire, earth, water, etc., dark, etc. Some factions will have access to exclusive schools. For instance, the magic of the light for the Haven faction. Others will have forbidden access to schools. So for instance, the orcs are not very good at using old schools of magic because they're not supposed to like magic very much. They were created by magic and they hate the people who created them.
Cool. Could you tell us more about the races?
So the 6 factions in the game are what we call the classic ones. Haven, the Knights of the Holy Empire, so they are all about a very defensive faction with the powers of healing, powers of cleansing, so debuffing, removing the debuffs they have on themselves, so really resisting to all kind of manipulative magic, control magic. And they have in their midst griffin or angel or stuff like that, so some kind of holy fantastic creatures. Then there's another fan classic, which is Necropolis, the Lords of the Undead. So they summon skeletons, and they have vampires and leeches in their midst. They have the Undead Dragon. They are the masters of curses, so of debuffs, and so they are perfect enemies for the Haven faction. They master dark magic, well, the Haven faction master light magic, so they're really like polar opposites. Then you have the stronghold, the orcs. I mentioned that the fact that they don't like magic very much, but they're very fast, they do a lot of damage, they're resilient, they can rush to the enemy and disrupt any kind of strategy that you want to put into place. That's how they should win the fight. Their own special ability is Blood Rage, which makes them better as they fight more. If they take damage or if you do damage, they will increase all the capacities. Then the 4th classic faction is Academy. It's the wizards. It's the ones who created the orcs. So the orc are like the might faction. Academy is the magic faction. It's the Swiss knife of the factions. They can do a lot of things. They can master every kind of school of magic. They can adapt to any kind of enemy. So they are complex to use, but they're very versatile and powerful in this way. And then we have the 2 factions that were voted by the fans. So it was a choice between various factions, and in the end the fans selected the Sylvan Elves, the Elves of the Forest, who worship the Earth Dragon. So they have a lot of abilities related to health, regeneration, let's say rock shield or rock skin that will protect them from harm, but also being wood elves, they're very good archers. They're the masters of guerrilla tactics and attacks, so they're very mobile, very fast. They do a lot of damage, but from a distance. If you get closer, they will cast all those earth spells that will protect them, and they will send to the front line their earth dragon or their treants that are like huge towering trees and stuff. So they can do both, like slow you down, prevent you from doing melee damage, and shooting from afar to basically grind you down. And then the final faction are the dungeon, the Dark Elves. There's a long story that explains how they were born from the Wood Elves. I won't describe the details here, but they go underground, they hide in the shadows, they worship the Dragon of Darkness. They are also like the Necromancers, masters of curses, but they're also masters at backstabbing you, so they use flanking to their advantage. They are masters of poison. They know your weaknesses and they can lie to you, so they have powerful illusions. They can target your sweet spots, so they're very good at critical hits and stuff like that. That's who they are. So basically we call them the bastards of the world of magic, and that's how you should deal with them.
Okay, cool. One more question about the story. Where does it fit? Where did it take us and that?
The story of Heroes VII is set between Heroes 6 and Heroes 5. So in order, it's Heroes 6, then Heroes 7, then Heroes 5. In Heroes 6, the ruling dynasty of the Holy Empire are the Falcon line, so it's the emperors of Falcon. It's the original emperor of the Holy Empire, and all is going well for them. But at the end of the scenario of the story of Heroes 6, they are losing political power. Almost the emperor is dead. The heir going on the throne, Empress Gwendoline, will learn a lot of lessons from her father, and she will try to separate church and state because the angels manipulated a lot of things in the empire. So it's a period of trouble. In Heroes 5, so centuries after that, the dynasty who were ruling the empire are the Griffin dynasty. They were just a duchy at the time of Heroes 6, and now they became the ruling dynasty. So Heroes 7 explains how it happened. The civil war that happened after the events of Heroes 6, the Duke of Griffin emerging from the civil war as the future emperor. The guy is supposed to be more of a general and a hero, and he doesn't want to become the emperor, but a lot of people from other factions of the world of might magic will come to him and say, yes, you're the good man, you should become the new emperor, you should remove the Falcon line, because it's only now not legitimate heirs and people who are kind of corrupt, so you're the best choice and we support you. So the orcs come to you, the elves come to you, even the dark elves come to you and say, go on the throne, man, we will help you to do that. And that's the story of Heroes 7.
Oh, okay, thank you. And one final question, when is it come out?
The game will be released September 29, so very soon now. And I hope you will enjoy it, and as much as we enjoyed making it.
Okay, thank you, cool.
You're welcome.
Thank you.